As you might know, on Saturday, February the 4th, I published a video for the Modpack version 0.2.2. But by Wednesday, February the 8th, a copyright takedown notice was sent in and the video is no longer public. For those of you who are looking for the Modpack, you can find it on my website, scrapshare.tk. There is a link at the top. So, what is going on with this copyright takedown notice? Well, to explain that, we gotta go back to the beginning, when the video was released and it was causing quite a bit of stir in the comment section. Grego had posted comments claiming that I had violated his copyrights with the release of this Modpack. Ike07 made similar claims that I was infringing on Grego's copyrights. Let's take a look at some of the things they had to say. Here's a comment from Ike07. I'm not going to go too much into the rest of his comments because they're all pretty much the same thing. He says, Durf should have never provided mesh or texture files from other mods. All he had to do was combine icons and description files from all mods if he wants to add his own objects, or if he does, at least don't write some copyright law nonsense shit in your readme file, as that's exactly what you did by itself. All files, PNG/JSON, belongs to Axolot Games if we are truly honest. Here are a couple of comments from Grego. It's not same idea. He copied my code with UUID and only modify my mesh, not make new. He broken copyrights. Next one reads, yes, Ike07, he's stolen my parts. Here's another comment by Grego. You just modernized my mesh, but you used my code, UUID. You know it's illegal? Here's yet another comment from Grego. But nobody asked me for co-op and what I think about using my parts in Modpack. I know it's better to have one mod, but he's special broken copyrights. I have documented everything. We will see what he will do. So what I did was, I recognized that there was a misunderstanding. I tried to explain to him that I didn't in fact break his copyrights, and I invited him to email me about this so that we can discuss it and further, possibly reach a resolution. And another comment from Grego. Nice lying. You copied my code and UUID. I have documented everything and I am waiting for next message from prosecutor's office. Everything is on good way, smiley face, for me, smiley face. Okay, so I think you get the idea. We don't need to be looking at any more comments. But to summarize all of those comments, and the claims being made, as I understand them, are, number one, that I was violating Grego's copyrights by using the same UUID for the parts that are in his mod. And number two, that I did not in fact create the 3D models myself, or the textures, and that I had simply stolen them from Grego's mod. So let's take a look a little further into these claims and see how valid they are. What is a UUID? A universally unique identifier is basically a number. This number comes in a special format that basically lets you represent a lot of numbers but with a small amount of digits, which is very useful for computers and many other applications. It doesn't exist just in Scrap Mechanic, it exists in other places too. So this is what a UUID looks like. This is just a website where you can go to generate a random UUID. If you refresh the page, it gives you a new one. Refresh the page again, it gives you a new one. How many UUIDs are there? Well, there are precisely 2 to the power of 122 UUIDs. That's the same thing as saying there are 5.3 times 10 to the power of 36 UUIDs. Or a really, really big number that I don't know how to say, but let's just say it's a lot of UUIDs. So the chances of you going to this website to generate a new UUID and you generate one that's the exact same as one that you've generated before, or that anyone has generated before actually, the chances of that happening are astronomical. The design of a UUID is made in such a way so that every time you go get one, it's going to be completely unique, different from any other UUID out there. So, did I use the same UUIDs? The answer is yes, of course I did. Because I use the same UUIDs, it allows people to load in their old blueprints, their own creations that were previously built with Grego mod, and now they're able to load it in using the Modpack parts instead. If I had used a new, or any other UUID for that matter, if I had used another UUID for those new parts added, no one would be able to load those older blueprints with the Modpack. So my decision for doing so was to allow you guys to enjoy your own creations again. Here's the big question. Was it violating Grego's copyrights by using the same UUID? No, it's not. Copyrights are there to protect an individual's created work. A UUID is just a number that already exists. Grego did not invent UUIDs, and neither did I. Neither did the Scrap Mechanic developers. UUIDs exist as a standard format for having lots of identification numbers. You cannot claim copyrights on a UUID any more than you can claim copyrights on your phone number or your favorite lucky number. It is not a created work. Grego did not create any UUIDs. He chose already existing IDs out of all of them. So the first claim where I violated Grego's copyrights by using the same UUID is an invalid claim. Any mod maker can use any UUID for any part. Even if it's a UUID that exists in another mod, it is just an identification number and not covered by copyrights. Now the second claim being made is that I had stolen the 3D models and textures from Grego's mod. These would definitely be covered by copyrights as they are original created works. But did I steal them from Grego's mod? Let's take a look at the files and see. Alright, here we are on the desktop and we have both of the mods. On the left side we have Grego's and on the right side we have the Modpack. So let's go ahead and check into Grego's here, left side, and the Modpack will be right side. Now that we have both folders open, let's look into the textures. So to find the textures, we go into Data, Objects, Textures. And in here, Data, Objects, Textures. In here we have two folders in each mod. For Grego's mod, he doesn't have to have two folders actually, he can just have them all in one folder. But for the Modpack, there are some interactive textures. These are actually editing vanilla texture files. This is what lets you paint the logic gate and paint the suspensions. So we can ignore the interactive folder for now. It's the Modpack folder. These are all of the Modpack textures. This is created works by the modding team. Okay, so in the first folder of the textures for Grego mod, there is these are textures for the weighted blocks. They're going to be like the ultralight, the light, the medium, the heavy. And these are the textures for the glass pieces in his mod. So, if you look at the texture for the weighted blocks, it is just a transparent 1024 by 1024 image in GIMP. I did not need to steal this from Grego, because I can just go here, new, 1024 by 1024, fill it with transparency, okay. Here's the new texture. I did not need to steal it from Grego. This is just GIMP creating a blank canvas for me to start from, and I can go ahead and save this. And I can save it as whatever I want. I did not need this to start that. I did not need anything from Grego to do this. The glass texture is actually the exact same thing. I have no idea why he has two of the same texture for two different parts. You only need one, and you can reference the same texture for both parts. But anyways, this already proves that I did not need to steal from Grego to be able to do this. It's a very easy thing. Anyone can do it. So the textures in this blocks folder, I most definitely did not steal. If you were to look at the NOR texture, the normal map, it's a very easy thing to create. Especially, these are for the blocks that don't have any sort of surface lighting on them. So creating this is just picking the correct the correct color and coloring the entire image that color. I don't need to steal this from Grego, I can just create it myself. Here's the ASG texture from Grego. And here's the ASG texture from the Modpack. Again, very simple thing to do. I don't need to be stealing this from Grego, I can just create it myself. As a matter of fact, this looks almost as if he's stolen this from the Modpack. I don't remember Grego having this anyways. Anyway, let's go back up a folder into Grego's folder here. These are Grego's texture files. Now, I'm not exactly sure how he thinks that I stole his textures, but I'm pretty sure, okay, this seems like it's, yeah, here we go. This is the texture that he uses for his monitor controller. Alright? And here, where is it? There it is. This is the texture that I used for the equivalent part in the Modpack, the monitor controller. As you can see, they are definitely different textures. They're even a different size. Grego's is 512 by 512. Mine is 1024 by 1024. I don't know how he thinks I stole his texture. This is not his texture. This is mine. We could pick any texture from Grego's mod and do the same thing. The reason why I'm looking at all the diff textures is because if you look at the ASG texture, this is what you see. It's something that I will have to explain to you guys in the next mod making tutorial video, what ASG actually does. So the ASG textures are also different. They are not the same. I did not steal Grego's textures. And same goes for the NOR textures. This is the monitor controller from Grego. And for the Modpack, I don't actually have one for the monitor controller. Instead, I use default NOR. And what default NOR looks like is this. This is what it looks like. So, already you can tell there's a huge difference between the textures. The Modpack textures are of a higher resolution, first of all, so you get higher quality textures in the Modpack. And they are entirely created works by the modding team. None of them belong to Grego. But we can go ahead and we'll check, let's see, maybe there's something, I know he uses one of these for his letter blocks. Maybe he thinks the letter blocks look very similar and maybe I stole that texture. So let's see here. Is it this one? No, it's not. Is it this one? Nope. Maybe this one? Yeah, there we go. This is the one. Okay, so this is the texture that Grego uses for his letter blocks. Now let's take a look at the texture that I use in the Modpack for letters. And there it is. Alright, so immediately you can see a huge difference. It might be the same font, it might be the same boldness, but he doesn't have copyrights on the usage of the font, which by the way is free to use. He used it freely, I can use it freely too. So these textures are created by the modding team and not Grego. So I encourage you guys to go ahead and check for yourself. You can check all of the texture images from Grego's mod and all of the texture images from the Modpack. None of them will be identical because I did not steal any textures from Grego. But this isn't the only claim that was made. The claim was that I also stolen the 3D models. So let's go ahead and look into the 3D models. Mesh, mod by Grego, and Modpack. Alright. In the Grego mod, there's a lot of mesh files. And in the Modpack, there are also a lot of mesh files, but you'll also notice that there are a lot of OBJ files. This is a different format of 3D model. I particularly prefer OBJ. I find it easier to work with, and I also think that there's more software available out there for other people to use with the model. That doesn't mean that I'm giving you guys permission to go ahead and use my models in your own projects, but there are some people might be able to learn by looking at the models. So here, okay, if we just click this, you can see, Windows will try to load in the model and show it to you. But you can't do that with the mesh files because Windows doesn't support viewing mesh files like that. So that's why I chose the new format, OBJ. So let's go ahead and find some of the same parts. Here we go. Let's find where's there we go. This would be the monitor controller. And here's the equivalent monitor controller object. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys how the 3D models are not the same and how I did not steal the models from Grego. Okay, so because I want to show you guys in my 3D modeling program the difference between the models, I actually have to take Grego's model here and convert it from mesh to .obj. It's not a hard thing to do, but it's a very simple conversion process. So here I'm taking the .mesh file. I can convert it to .obj instead. Here we go. So this is the same file as Grego's, just converted to OBJ instead of .mesh. So we can load it up just like Windows lets us, and we can see there's the monitor. But instead of that, I want to show you guys in an actual 3D modeling program what the difference is. I'm going to be showing you guys this in Wings 3D because it's free, and you guys can check this out for yourself. Okay, so if I bring it here, go File, Import, OBJ. See, this is why I needed to convert the object, because I can't import a mesh. I have to import OBJ. So let's go ahead and select that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and import the model that we just converted. There we go. This is what Grego's monitor controller looks like in a 3D modeling program. It's about 2 by 2 of these squares here. 2 on the side, 2 on the top. And about 1 of those same squares tall. So 2 by 2 by 1. It's a very easy shape to fill, just 2 by 2 by 1. And I want you to pay attention to all these lines here. This level of detail is not something that you would actually notice in-game. You're not going to be able to tell that there are this many curves in like this edge right here. It does not need to be like this. Like you're most likely just going to... There, this is what it looks like with some lighting. You're not going to be able to actually look at the object any closer than this, so you're not really going to notice that level of detail. So let's go ahead and get rid of this. File new, don't save. Import. And this time we're going to be importing the model from the Modpack. Object mesh, Modpack. Monitor controller. Here we go. This is what the monitor controller model looks like from the Modpack. So immediately you can see there are much less lines. And this is what I meant when I said in the video that the models are optimized. It's because the models have been recreated from scratch and they are made with much less detail so that they actually run faster on your computer. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys really quickly how easy it was to make something like this, such that I did not have to steal it from Grego. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and delete this. I'm going to go create a cube. I want it to be 2 by 2 by 1, right? That's exactly the shape, except we also need a screen on top. So let's select these edges. Give them a nice bevel. About 0.1 seems pretty good. See, and you can already tell just how easy it is to be making these models. Well, easy, it takes time and actually knowing what to do, but it's not like I have to steal from Grego to be making these models. I can definitely do it myself. So here, let's take this and put it about 10% of the way. And then we can just move this. We'll move it down like that much. And then we can do the same thing. And then move it down a little more. So already we have the outer curve all done and ready to go. We just need to finish it with the inner screen. And that's following a very similar process. You just, keep on creating an inset and changing the height to give that sort of bulb look. So yeah, that was that. And you can do the same for any of the models that you find in Grego's mod, and any of the models or OBJ files that you find in the Modpack. Okay, you know what? I have to open that again and show you guys. Creating a rail like this, for example, these primitive shapes, very, very easy. And like, you can't claim a copyright on geometry. Okay, at some level, let's just create a cube. Oh wait, I don't want it that size. I want a cube. We want it too long on the z-axis, and we want this to be 1, and this to be 1. There we go. So this is the starting of a rail. If we select all of these vertices here, okay, so right now it's only 1 tall, but we need it to be 2 tall, like down here and to up there. So we're just going to go ahead and move these vertices straight down 0.5 units. So that lets us have these line up right with the middle line there. And on this side, we're going to move them up 0.5 units. So just like that, we have a 2 by 2 rail piece. Now you want to know how easy it is to make the other rails? You do this. Wait, there we go. No, I wanna... Okay, so first we get the 1x1 rail piece. This doesn't exist and we're not going to be making it, but with this measurement, now we can go ahead and scale axis Z, and we can go like this. 200%, that's the 2x2. 300%, that's the 3x2. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's the 10 blocks long rail. You can actually go even further here. Bam! There's the 20 long rail. All of the models have been recreated from scratch in a 3D modeling program by myself. So the second claim that was made, that I had stolen the 3D models and textures from Grego mod, this is an invalid claim. I made the 3D models myself, and I made the textures myself. It took a lot of work. I skipped out on sleep just to get it done as soon as possible so you guys could enjoy it. Now, I can understand the confusion, because the parts in the mod pack, they look very, very similar to the parts in Grego's mod. In fact, some people might point out that if anyone makes a 3D model of Mario, that is not a violation of Nintendo's copyright because the created work was not made by Nintendo. But it is a violation of a registered trademark, which is Mario's appearance, his character. We already established that Grego does not own a copyright for the models used, and he cannot claim copyrights on basic geometric shapes. But what about the train wheels and rims? Why do they look so similar? Here's the thing. If you do a Google Images search for train wheels, they look like train wheels. Sure, some of them look different from one another, but overall, even in real life, there isn't such a thing as owning copyright on the shape of the wheel. A company that makes train wheels, they can register a trademark for a specific wheel shape, but that shape would have to be distinguishable from all other wheels from all other companies. If they can't do that, then the shape is too common to even trademark. Same goes for the wheel rims. Grego cannot claim copyright on basic geometry or the design of the rims without a registered trademark. If I look on Google Images for wheel rims, and if I find one that looks really similar to Grego's model, does that mean that he broke copyrights for modeling the rim after one in real life? Of course not. But if that rim, if the design of that rim was a registered trademark, then using that model would cause some legal problems. It's the same thing as if somebody made a 3D model of a Lamborghini and tried to sell it online. Lamborghini, the company, they would eventually sue that person for using their trademark for profit. But this doesn't stop anyone from making a 3D model of a car that looks very, very similar to a Lamborghini, as long as there's no way to prove that it is a specific model from the company that owns the trademark. If it doesn't look like an existing Lamborghini, and it doesn't say Lamborghini on it, then it's not a Lamborghini and the company cannot sue for that model. So this means that Grego is attempting to enforce a trademark that he didn't even register. And probably can't register because they wouldn't let him. The shapes are too simple and too common. There's nothing specific enough about this that's going to let him actually trademark it. But I doubt Grego is trying to prevent other mod makers from making train parts. Anyone can make train parts. He was just the first one to do it. So I think the issue that Grego has is that they look too similar. Now, I could have very easily made models that look very different from Grego's models. I don't lack the creative ability to do that. I was specifically making them look as close as possible. The reason why I chose to make the models look as close as possible to Grego's is because of what players do with the parts in Scrap Mechanic. Say there's a train wheel, for example. Somebody might look at it and think, I think this wheel makes a good hat for my character. So if I went ahead and made train wheels that take up the same spot as Grego's wheels, but they use models that look very different, that original aesthetic appeal would be gone, and certain creations like that one would be ruined. The new wheel might look terrible as a hat. So, to avoid very specific circumstances like that, modeling them as closely as possible was necessary. If anyone wants new train wheel models, I can go ahead and do that for a new part. This is not a violation of copyright law since I did not use Grego's created works. It is also not a violation of trademark because Grego doesn't even have one. This means that all of the claims made about the Modpack are invalid claims. Nothing in the Modpack violates anyone's copyright, and I have every right to distribute the mod to you guys. So this brings us to the video. Grego filed a copyright takedown notice for the Modpack video. Since YouTube is a video streaming service, any claims of copyright infringement cover video, audio and music, and photographs. When someone files a copyright takedown notice, it is because they believe someone used one of those things that didn't belong to them. I have already proven how the Modpack does not violate Grego's copyrights. But how does the video? I created that video, I recorded it, that's me playing Scrap Mechanic in the video, and that's my voice you hear in the video too. The Modpack video is my copyrighted material, not Grego's. This means that the copyright takedown notice is invalid as well. So, where do we go from here? Well, this copyright takedown notice has earned my channel a copyright strike. If you don't know what those are, it's a system YouTube uses to make sure content creators stay legal. If a channel gets 3 strikes, then the account is terminated. But here's the thing. Since this copyright takedown notice is invalid, and I can easily prove it, that means I can reverse the takedown notice. It will remove the strike from my channel, and instead add it to Grego's channel because he was the one that made the false claims. This is abuse of the copyright system on YouTube, and it is against the terms of service for using YouTube. But there is another option. I have not reversed the takedown yet, which, by the way, because the video isn't available, I'm not getting views from it, and any funding for making mods is cut off. So, like I said, I haven't reversed the takedown yet, and this is because Grego has the option to retract his copyright claim. This would mean that he can still avoid a copyright strike on his channel by taking back his false claim. Now, I can understand Grego's position. He did what he thought he had to do in order to protect what he thought was his copyrighted material. Despite my invitation to discuss things over email, he went ahead and filed the takedown notice anyway. He knew I was open to discussion, but didn't seem to care about having peaceful relations. But people make mistakes all the time, and if we never forgive anyone for them, we'd be going to war every single day. So Grego, if you're watching this, you have 24 hours from the posting of this video to retract your claim. Otherwise, I think we will have to settle our differences in court, and I'm sure that's not going to go well for you. Ike07, if you're watching this, you really should have minded your own business. You had no place to be making the comments you did, and trying to drag other people into this was crossing the line. If you have a personal problem with me, you settle it with me. I extended the invitation to discuss things over email with you as well, but it seems you're not interested in peaceful relations either. It seems you'd prefer to have me make a video for you and your mods as well. To everyone watching this, my subscribers and whoever else is watching this, no matter what Grego has done, and no matter what he will do, I don't want you guys to send any hate towards him or his channel. I don't have a personal problem with Grego, or Ike07 for that matter, and neither should you. So let me know down in the comments, would you like to see a video on Ike07 and what's going on with him? I have some additional content on this drama that involves Ike07, and it makes his earlier comments look hilarious. More than they already are, that is. But I think that's it for this video. I'm sorry it's a really long video and it's probably boring. I know that a lot of you were confused about the comments in the Modpack video, and especially confused when you saw the video taken down. I felt it was necessary to explain to you guys what's going on and to let you guys know that you don't need to worry about the mods. Hopefully we'll be back to regular content next week. Thank you guys for being so supportive and understanding. You guys are always there for me, and I really appreciate that. I will do my very best to stay legal, so I can always be there for you guys too. Thank you for your time.